Hello, good morning, student. How are you? I hope you all are happy and healthy and fine at home. So, what did we discuss yesterday? Yesterday, we have discussed about the chapter number 3, which is nucleophilic substitution at aliphatic carbon. In that we have learned what do you mean by the nucleophilic substitution reaction, what type of the reaction there are. Mainly we have learned SN1 reaction, as well as we have learned SN2 reaction, as well as we have learned third one reaction, that is a SNI reactions, with their mechanism, kinetic study, approach of nucleophile attack, then energy profile diagram, then stereochemistry. By taking different example, we have proved what type of the stereochemistry associated with SN1 reaction as well as SN2 reaction. Similarly, for SNI mechanism, again we have learned how to know whether the following reaction will follow SN1 mechanism or SN2 mechanism. Then this kind of the study we have learned in detail in chapter number 3, and as I already told you that, so today which chapter I am going to start, that is the chapter number 4th one. Sequentially we are studying. We have studied chapter number 1st, chapter number 2nd, chapter number 3rd. We are arriving at the chapter number 4th one, which is the reaction of unsaturated hydrocarbons and the carbon oxygen double bond. So far we have learned 3 chapter. Chapter number 1, the strength of organic acids and bases, that is our chapter number 1st. Chapter number 2nd we have studied, we have learned what is that. The name of that chapter is stereochemistry of disubstituted cyclohexane. And the chapter number 3, the name of the chapter number 3 is nucleophilic substitution at aliphatic carbon. And now we are discussing the chapter number 4. The name of the chapter is the reactions of unsaturated hydrocarbons and carbon oxygen double bond. Now let us see reaction. As we know that substrate treated with some reagent, there is a formation of the product. So that type of the thing we know that the reaction. Now let us look at as a word. Here is a unsaturated. What do you mean by the unsaturation, or what does it mean? Unsaturated means what? We know that the organic compound mainly divided into as a 2 types. One is called as a saturated, one is called as a saturated, and another one is called as a unsaturated. Unsaturated. Saturated means what? Theoretically, remember, those organic compound containing as a carbon-carbon single bond, that type of the organic compound are known as a saturated compounds. Understood? For example, methane, ethane, propane, methanol, ethanol, 2-chlorobutane, 5-chloropropane, or 2-chloropropane. So likewise, these are the example of saturated organic compound. And as we know that organic compound means what? The study of carbon compound which containing carbon atom are known as organic chemistry. Now here the saturated means There, simply remember the organic compound containing carbon-carbon single bond are known as saturated organic compound. Now, the unsaturated compound. Theoretically, the organic compound which containing carbon-carbon double bond, carbon-carbon triple bond, carbon-oxygen double bond, carbon-nitrogen double bond, or carbon sulfur double bond, or carbon nitrogen triple bond, etc. you can call it, or nitrogen or N double bond N or N double bond O, or these etc. you can call it as. These type of the double bonds or the triple bond means multiple bond present in those organic compound. That compounds are known as unsaturated compound. Remember, theoretically we can distinguish these two compound, organic compound, from each other very simply just by making as a statement the saturated compound means what and the unsaturated compound means what. Saturated means organic compound containing carbon-carbon single bond are known as a saturated compound, and unsaturated compound means what? The organic compound containing double bond or the multiple bond are known as a saturated compounds. Look at this. This is a very simplest explanation or distinction between saturated compound and the unsaturated compound. Understood this one? Now this is about saturated. Now hydrocarbons. You are already familiar with this word hydrocarbons. Again remember, hydrocarbon means what? Hydro and carbon. Hydro means hydrogen and carbon means carbon. The organic compound which is made by carbon and hydrogen are known as hydrocarbon. Suppose look at here, this is, we can call it as a unsaturated hydrocarbon, means this is a unsaturated carbon-carbon double bond here. So this is not there because there is oxygen atoms are there. Therefore it is not belonging to as a unsaturated hydrocarbons. This is a heteroatom over there. So this type of the study, hydrocarbons, means the organic compound containing as a carbon-carbon double bond is known as a hydrocarbon. And now look at here, carbon-oxygen double bond. This is a carbon-oxygen double bond. It is the unsaturated compound, but it is not the hydrocarbon because here the carbon and oxygen atom, one is a heteroatom is present, oxygen atom, and therefore it is not belonging to the hydrocarbon. It is something else. It is other carbon, unsaturated carbon, no doubt about it, but it is not the hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon only this carbon-carbon double bond and the carbon-carbon triple bond. All other are the heteroatoms are there, and that's why they are the unsaturated, no doubt about it, but they are not the hydrocarbons. Look at this. And now one chemical test. While performing as a qualitative analysis in the laboratory, you are detecting whether the given compound is a saturated or the unsaturated is a very simple test, chemical test. Just take the small amount of the substance in a test tube. Test tube means what? Test tube is used to test to perform the test of a chemical test. So that's why we are using that test tube. Take as a pinch of starting compound, then add the reagent like a Br2 in presence of CCl4. CCl4 is a non-polar solvent, where Br2 is a brown in color, and by looking just as a change in color, that clearly indicate that the given compound is unsaturated in nature. Suppose that brown color remains as it is, there is no change in color, no decolorization. Decolorization means change in color. No decolorization means whatever original color, that original color remains there. That's why this is known as a no decolorization. Decolorization means color is changed. So that's so simple test. to perform that test also known as a Beer test. And why this, the mechanism, how this takes place theoretically, we are going to learn today here, because up till now, up till to the SYBSE, or what we can call it is in your previous classes, even though 12th standard or FYBSE, you are not aware of that test. You are learning that test just by practical purpose, but you are not knowing the theory behind it, how the reactions are occur. Only just you are knowing that there is a Beer test for detecting the saturation and the unsaturation. That is, I know that. But here we are going to learn the theoretically how the reaction takes place, what are the chemical aspect, a stereochemical aspect you are going to learn in this chapter. How, whether it is cis addition or trans addition, what type of the intermediate is formed, and after that the product is. So that type of the thing in detail we will going to learn in this chapter. So that is all about this carbon oxygen double bond, which is over here. So the addition reaction, first of all let us define the definition of the addition reaction. In the introductory part, what we are going to learn, the reaction of carbon-carbon double bond. Because if you look at here, there are so many unsaturated compound, carbon-carbon double bond, carbon-carbon triple bond, carbon-oxygen double bond, then carbon-nitrogen double bond, carbon-sulfur double bond, then there is a cyanide group, nitrogen atom, nitronium ions. So these are the type of the nitrous ion. So these type of the sum of the compound, they are also known as a functional group. And as we already studied that, what do you mean by the functional group? The functional group, we are using these word frequently while studying the organic chemistry, or the most of the chemists are talking about the functional group. What do you mean by the functional group? The group, or what we can call it as in the simplest or the shortest definition of functional group is what? That is the site of reaction. Whenever in any chemical reaction, when we are adding the reagent, the part of the organic compound undergoes as a change. That type of the that point is called as a functional group. Means only the changes are occur at a particular site of the organic compound, and that part only known as a functional group. Functional group is go on changing while adding the reagent. When we are adding the reagent, reaction are taking place at a particular site, at a particular region, and that part only changing. So that part is known as a functional group. Or in another way, definition, scientific definition, what we can call it as a group or atom, that determine the physical properties or the chemical property of a particular family of the organic compound is known as a functional group. Now let us come to our original point. What is that? The addition reaction. What does it mean? How do you define this? The definition of the addition reaction. A reaction in which a molecule combine. A reaction in which two molecules combine to yield a single product or single molecule of a product is called as addition reaction. Means here, as we know that here is a saturated compound. Whenever we are adding as a reagent, whatever atom present in the reagent, that atom is completely consumed by the substrate, and the product form, that product containing all the atom of the substrate as well as reagent, that type of the reaction is called as a addition reaction. That is the simplest definition of addition reaction. And as we know that in the addition, when the addition reaction takes place, what is happening here? Let us see generally. Here carbon carbon triple bonds are there, and this is a functional group. Carbon carbon triple bonds are there, or it is known as alkyne, right? Simplest one is alkynes. And alkyne, if you look at in the organic chemistry, there are three kinds of carbon atom are present, means there are three types of the hybridized carbon atoms are present. And hybridization, as we know that the process of mixing and recasting of atomic orbital of different energy overlap to form a new set of energy in an isolated atom to form a new set of energy which is equal in energy is known as hybridization, and the new orbital is formed are known as a hybrid orbital. Now what will be the hybridization of this carbon atom, which is a sp, right? Sp hybridization, as we know that it has a definite geometry, that is a linear geometry, and when it is a linear geometry, the bond angle is found to be 180 degree, and the bond length also we know that. What is that? Bond length is found to be 1.20 angstroms are there. Now when we are adding here, let us see, add here YZ, which is one of the reagent. This is a substrate, as we know that it is a substrate, or we can call it as a reactor, or we can call it as a starting material. Various names are given, and this is a reagent, and we do this is a reagent. The nature of reagent, normally we will see later on the nature of reagent. Normally there are the two kinds of the reagents are present. One is called as a electrophilic reagent, another one is a nucleophilic reagent. So how they are classified we already learned in FYBSc, but let us see here. When a reagent is added, what type of the product you are going to get here? And as we know that here is a carbon carbon triple bonds are there, now becomes as a double bond. Here Y is added and here is a Z. Look at this product that we are getting as a alkene here, right? This is a alkene we are getting, and what will be the hybridization of these two carbon atom? These two carbon atom has a hybridization is a sp2, and sp2, what will be the geometry of that sp2? Geometry of that sp2 is a trigonal planar. What is the bond angle? Bond angle is 120 degree. And what is the bond length? Bond length is a 1.34 angstrom. So that are the some general information about that you must remember as far as this. Now I am adding YZ is a reagent, right? This is a reagent in a alkene. What you are going to get here? Again there is a addition reaction, right? Again is addition reaction takes place over here. What you are going to get? Here you are going to get Y. Again here is a Y, single bond, Z, and look at this Y. Now what will be the hybridization of this carbon atom? Now double bond is converted into as a single bond. Now it is known as a alkane, right? These are the alkane, and hybridization must be sp3 hybridization. And what is the bond angle of sp3 hybridization? You know that, right? What is that? 109.5 degree, right? And what is the bond length between carbon carbon single bond? Carbon carbon single bond length is found to be 1.54 angstrom. These are the general information you should remember. These all are the addition reaction. Understood the definition of the addition? What do you mean by the addition? A reaction in which two molecules combine to yield the single molecule of product is called addition reaction. Look at here, this is an unsaturated compound. This is a unsaturated compound. When the product is formed, still this is a unsaturated compound because there is a carbon-carbon double bond. And what is this? This is a saturated compound. This is a saturated compound. Means the main characteristic of unsaturated compound means they undergoes the addition reaction. Remember, unsaturated, the main important feature of the or main characteristic or the significant feature of the carbon-carbon double bond or the unsaturated compound, the characteristic means they undergoes as a addition reaction. Unsaturated compound characteristic of this reaction, they undergoes as a addition reaction. Addition reaction, that is the important point you should remember while studying as this type of the unsaturated compound. If alkene is present or alkyne is present, they undergoes as a addition reaction, and when the addition reaction takes place, the reagent, whatever reagent you are adding, that reagent is completely consumed by the substrate, converted into as a product, and when product is formed, that is a saturated in nature. When this type of the addition reaction takes place, there is a change in hybridization. Suppose it is a sp2 hybridized unsaturated compound that converted into as a sp3 hybridization. And as we know that in the organic compound there are number of unsaturated compounds are there. Unsaturated compound characteristics, they undergoes as a addition reaction. As we know that there are carbon-carbon double bond, just now we have seen there is a carbon-carbon double bonds. Suppose carbon-carbon triple bond, then carbon-oxygen double bond, then carbon-sulfur double bond, carbon-nitrogen double bond, carbon-nitrogen triple bond, then what we can call it as a nitrogen-oxygen double bond, then nitrogen double bond. So etc you can call it as. These are the unsaturated compounds, and among these all, this one first carbon-carbon double bond and carbon-oxygen double bond are very, very important as far as this year TYBSc is concerned, or forever you are going to study. So these two are highly important one. Let us begin with the first one, that is a reaction of carbon-carbon reactions of carbon-carbon double bond. Before starting that we are just looking the what we can call it as a introductory part. Just now we have seen. Now addition to carbon-carbon double bond. So addition to carbon-carbon double bond, as we know that suppose simplest example of alkene is this one, right? Carbon-carbon double bonds are there, carbon-carbon double bond, or what we can call it as just this CH2 double bond CH2. This is the simplest or the first member of the alkene family is alkene. Now when this the stereochemic carbon-carbon double bonds are there, when carbon-carbon double bond is formed, this is supposed as a substrate, and now substrate also has a two nature. Suppose you are that carbon-carbon double bond, what do you think, whether it is a electrophilic in nature or nucleophilic in nature? Remember, these two terms in organic chemistry are highly important one. One is a electrophilic and second one is a nucleophilic. Electrophilic and the nucleophilic. These are the two terms are very, very important as far as the organic chemist point of view is concerned, electrophilic and the nucleophilic. Electrophilic means what and the nucleophilic means what? Electrophilic means what? They are the electron deficient in nature, and nucleophilic means what? They are the electron rich species. A reagent which has which is negatively charged species or containing lone pair of electron, that type of the species are known as a nucleophiles or nucleophilic reagent, and they has a tendency to donate the electron, means they are searching for the nucleo means nucleus and philic means loving. They are the nucleus loving, and therefore they are searching for the nucleus. That type the species is known as a nucleophile. And electrophile means electro means electron and philic means again as a loving. They are electron loving, means they are already as a electron deficient, electron poor species, and they are act as a Lewis acids. And here nucleophiles, they are act as a Lewis bases, because according to as a Lewis basis definition, a reagent or the species which are donate the lone pair of electron to the other atom, that type of the species is called as a Lewis basis, generally as a H plus are there. And here electrophilic means they are positively charged species or containing as a or there is a empty orbitals are present, like as a electrophile. The examples are Al, AlCl3, ZnCl2, RH plus, R plus, carbocation. These all are the Lewis acids because they are the electron deficient, or BF3, ZnCl2, all these are the Lewis electrophilic or the Lewis acid. And nucleophiles means what? They are the electron rich species, maybe as R minus, OH minus, negatively charged species, or neutral molecule like as a water or ammonia or the alcohol. These are considered as a nucleophilic reagent. So this is all about this one. Now, just now why I am explaining these two terms here, I am expecting from you now you have to tell me the nature of that olefin, whether they are in a electrophilic in nature or nucleophilic in nature. Tell me, this is a Lewis acids or bases. Why I am explaining this? I am trying to explain this. I am expecting from you what is the nature of this carbon-carbon double bond or this alkene. The nature of that alkene, it act as a Lewis basis because there is a, it serve as a source of electron. There are two double bonds are there. Now among these two, one is formed coaxial overlapping over there, and therefore that is a maximum electron present between two nuclei and form as a bond. That bond is known as a sigma bond. So first bond is a sigma bond, and now there is a one more bond is present there. What is the name of that bond? The name of that bond is a pi bond. And as we know that the pi bond are weaker bond than the sigma bond, or 2 mark question may appear in an exam. Why sigma bond is stronger than the pi bond, or why pi bond is weaker than the sigma bond? Because sigma bond are formed due to the overlapping of coaxial overlapping of atomic orbital and form as a new hybrid orbital. The type of that orbital is bond is called as a sigma bond, and sigma bond is a very strong bond because for breaking that sigma bond, maximum energy required to break that bond, and that's why this is there. Now pi bond is a weaker bond. It is a laterally overlapping. The energy required to break that sigma bond, the energy required to break the pi bond is very less as compared to the sigma, and therefore it is act as a source of electron. It is a weaker bond. And now what is according to that, whenever the addition reaction takes place, just now we have seen how the substrate is converted into as a saturated compound, and during that, if you observe this reaction carefully, what do you observe over there, or what do you see over there? There is a breaking of one sigma bond, there is a breaking of one pi bond, weaker pi bond is a weaker, and forming as a new 2 sigma bond. And theoretically, the expectation, according to as a expectation, what is our expectation? What we expect, the weaker bond require less energy, and energetically these reactions are highly energetic because there is a breaking of one sigma bond and forming as a 2 strong sigma bond, breaking up one pi weak bond and the forming as a 2 sigma bond. Now how this the energy spread over there, as we know that this carbon atom, here carbon atom, you can show one as a sigma bond over here, right? This is middle one is a sigma bond. Now 2 hydrogen atom, you can show these 2 hydrogen are below the plane, and this thick line you can show over there, and that hydrogen goes above the plane. Means these 2 hydrogen atom are above the plane and 2 hydrogen atom are below the plane, and another sigma bond energy. This is a pi bond energy, right? Look at this one is a pi bond energy. The energy cloud, this is a pi bond, this is also as a pi bond. Means that energy, this is nothing but as a pi bond, pi electron, or this is a cloud of that electron over the below the plane as well as above the plane. So this pi electron density distributed over the plane as well as below the plane, and therefore this is a what we can call it, and the bond angle is found to be 120 degree. That is a trigonal planar geometry this has, and therefore this type of, when the addition reaction takes place, and there are 3 kinds of the addition reaction takes place. Just now we have defined as addition reaction, a reaction in which 2 molecules combine to yield a single molecule of a product is called addition reaction, and that addition reaction further divided into 3 types. What are those types? Let us see over here. First one, let us see this addition reaction. This addition reaction, further addition reactions further divided into 3 types. Number 1, this one, and number 3, this one. Now first one is called as a electrophilic substitution reaction. Electrophilic addition reaction. Second one is a nucleophilic addition reaction, and free radical reaction. These are the 3 types of addition reaction takes place. Addition reaction, one is the electrophilic addition reaction, second one is a nucleophilic addition reaction, and third one is a free radical addition reaction. These are the 3 kind of the reaction we are going to learn under the heading addition reaction. Addition reaction further divided into as a 2 type: electrophilic addition reaction, nucleophilic addition reaction, and the free radical addition reaction. Now what does it mean? Electrophilic addition reaction means what? And as we know that all alkene or the unsaturated compound are nucleophilic in nature, and nucleophilic in nature, therefore the addition, whatever reagent we are adding, the nature of that reagent decided the addition reaction. Electrophilic addition reaction means what? If the reagent like as they are the electrophilic in nature, so that type of the addition reaction is called as the electrophilic addition reaction. And whenever the nature of reagent is a nucleophilic reagent, they undergo as addition reaction, so that type of the reaction is called as a nucleophilic addition reaction. Electrophilic addition reaction, generally carbon-carbon double bond, they undergo as electrophilic substitution, electrophilic addition reaction, and carbon-carbon triple bond also they undergoes or they shows the electrophilic addition reaction. Now nucleophilic addition reaction, the nature of nucleophile, let us look at here. Carbon oxygen double bonds are there. Carbon oxygen double bond, if you look at, this is a polar compound. Why it is a polar compound? Because carbon and oxygen, they differ in their electronegativity, and therefore there is a change in what we can call it as a change in dipole moment. Here we are going to get plus delta charge, minus delta charge. So this is a resonance stabilized, or this type of the compound is a polar. If you look at this carbonyl carbon, what do you see? This carbonyl carbon is a electrophilic in nature, and whenever we are adding as a reagent, that should be nucleophilic in nature, and when the addition reaction takes place, that reaction is known as a nucleophilic addition reaction. Understood this one? So carbonyl group undergoes as a nucleophilic addition reaction. That reaction we are going to learn in this chapter. Now is a free radical reaction, very rare reaction we are going to learn over here. Free radical reaction, how they undergoes. Mainly here is a anti-Marconic addition reaction. You might have heard this word in your previous classes. So the free radical reaction is, that is the anti-Markonikov rules. What is that? How that mechanism takes place, how the addition reaction takes place, that we will see in later. But I think with this, let us stop today here. Remaining the general reaction we will see in the next lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day.